Thank you very much, Summer. Thank you very much for that warm welcome. Well, in my script, I had good afternoon ready, but thanks to Arjun and distinguished Toastmaster Arjun and distinguished Toastmaster Malini, it's still good morning. Wonderful session from both of them. Can we hear it for both of them, please? Can we all just unmute ourselves, rub our hands, and just clap as loud as you can? Come on, everyone. Clap, clap, clap. All right. Now, I have a question for all of you. What exactly pops up when I say what comes to your mind when I say hybrid contest? You guys can all unmute. Yeah, our moderator has been generous enough to let us all unmute, so you can all unmute and answer. Use the chat box. So just let me know what comes to your mind as soon as you hear the word hybrid contest.
Online and offline, both.
Okay. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, Ashwin.
Yes, thank you.
There was an answer, Ashwin, online and offline both. That was the answer by, I think, Christopher.
Yes.
Okay, yes, yes. Any other thoughts that come to your mind when the word hybrid is thrown around?
Budget.
Chaos. Okay, budget, chaos. I have.
It's a hassle.
Okay, okay. Hassle, we'll put it as, we'll call it included in chaos. That's okay. That's, I hope that's okay to Natasha. Distinguished Natasha.
Setting a hybrid.
Okay, Smita ma'am and Hidesh, both of them are coming down to logistics, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Correct.
Namita says challenge. Usha says connections and connectivity.
Okay, connections. Okay.
Praveen says projector setup. Nice one, Praveen.
Okay. All right. Not at all a problem. Connectivity issues, yes, connections. We have that listed there as well. All right. By the end of today's session, all of you, I'm pretty sure, will be able to organize hybrid contests in a very simple. This is my promise to you. Now, how do we go about doing it? Well, let's have a look at a couple of things. First things first, I don't know if you've noticed this, both the presenters today before me were using one specific word. It was not called, it was never called an offline contest. So in a technical world or in the world of information technology or computers, if you call something offline, it basically means that that device or that individual is unreachable. So the correct term would be online and on-site. Online is basically your medium of video conferencing, that is either Zoom or Teams or WebEx or whatever is your preferred applications. And on-site is your physical contest. So whenever you are publicizing your clubs, contests, or anything related to contests, always make sure that it is, what is it? I want someone to post it in the chat box. Yes, I see that Alex has already posted it even before I asked the question. It is on-site and it is not online. Hybrid equal to online. Yes, thank you very much, Toastmaster. Now, okay, before I go on to the next slide, I want someone to tell me what exactly is Murphy's Law. I hope you all know what Murphy's Law is, right? Chat box, mute, unmute, however you want to give
Everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yes, thank you very much, Toastmaster Sanjana. Very well put. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Please have this mindset. Do not come to attend a hybrid contest with a mindset that everything is going to go smoothly. Yes, we all love everything to go smoothly, but life happens around us. When we make a plan, God laughs at us and tells, is that your plan? Wow, okay, fine, I have something else in store. Same thing here as well. Don't expect it to go absolutely flawlessly. There will be certain things that will go wrong. So at least as an organizer, if you're a district officer or if you're a club leader who's organizing this for the first time, be prepared. There are things that will go wrong. It's not that it will be smooth sailing, but there will be some things that you will have to deal with. First things first, what is the most basic requirement for you to attend an online contest, it is an internet connectivity. Ideally speaking, I would love like a gigabit internet connection that has a very high speed link with zero disconnections. Yes, that is an ideal situation. But practically speaking, it's not very feasible to have that. It's very expensive as well. So what are other workarounds that you can look at? Number one is your portable hotspot. You know, in olden days, you get those dongles and you get these portable dongles from Jio now. It is better if you use those instead of your mobile, because in your mobile, you can use your hotspot. Yes, obviously, that is also an option. But the thing is, you will keep getting calls, you will keep getting SMSs, and it's a mobile phone. So there will be other notifications and other applications also running in background. All of that will hog your bandwidth, and you will not have a very stable connection compared to a dedicated dongle or a dedicated hotspot. So that is one thing. I would even go as far as to say have separate dongles for separate devices. Well, how many of you here are from Bangalore? Please raise your hands. Hi, smiley, anything? Okay, I see some hands going up. We all know that you can even get married at Silkboard and have kids also there only, but still you will not be able to cross road because of traffic jam. That is exactly what is going to happen if you try to connect multiple devices to one hotspot. It's just like merging 4 or 5 lanes of traffic into one. There will be a bottleneck. People will not, and people will not have place to go. So at the end of the day, you will all start honking. If you want to avoid that experience, for a laptop at least, then we would recommend have separate hotspots for separate devices so that there are no bottlenecks. Up next, what is the platform that you want to choose? The rule book or the best practices document that is released by Toastmasters International for hybrid contests this year does not restrict you to the use, does not restrict the usage of any platform. You are free to use Zoom, you are free to use WebEx, you are free to use Teams, you are free to use Google Meet, you are free to use whatever application you want. The only catch is that you should be able to manage the entire contest in that particular application. The reason why I put Zoom first is because we're all familiar with the platform. We've been using it for some time, and the end goal is if you could moderate a Zoom meeting, you should be able to run a hybrid meeting as well. So that is what we're trying to get to at the end of this session. So that is the reason why Zoom is practically one of the best applications that there is. And another option that the district has the ability to offer this year is Microsoft Teams. So if you want something different, something that is slightly more secure, because we've seen Zoom bombings happen. If you want to prevent that, because I have never seen Teams bombings happen in my Teams meeting for the past 2 years of work. So that is something that we are once again, it is there as an option, but we would recommend having Zoom. Up next, distinguished Toastmaster Malini Hebbar here stated that you need to have 4 timers. So basically for timers for an online session and for an offline session. Everywhere you have a timer, TI recommends that you have 2, not 1 but 2. Same thing here also. Please double down on your timers, whether it is online, whether it is offline. Make sure that you have multiple timers so that even if there is one disconnection, you can pin the other timer or spotlight the other timer to make sure that the speech is being timed. If you don't have 4 people just to do the role of timer, then I would say wherever you have them, if you have just 2 people online or if you have just 2 people in person, make sure that they have separate devices. Make sure that you have a separate device for the timer itself in an in-person or in an offline setting. For example, now let's say there is a contest happening at a particular, let's say there is a contest happening at my club that is in person and hybrid. So it's a hybrid contest that has participants in person and from an online mode. So it's a hybrid contest. So for the in-person contestants as well, if your timer is online, I would suggest have a separate laptop facing the speaker so that the speaker always has an eye on the timer if you don't have 4 timers, that is. Up next is your tech team. This is very important. Please make sure that all of your stations have a Zoom moderation or has a Zoom moderator. By all of your stations, I mean all of your devices. If you have a device for the timer, then make sure that the timer is also briefed about the role of Zoom moderator, because he will have to change his virtual backgrounds. He'll have to pin spotlight. If there are something that he has to do, then it is easy for him to take care of. But make sure that all of your devices have someone sitting there so that it can be moderated, whether it be an online contest or an offline contest. Sorry, not an offline, an on-site contest. It is better, if you not better, it is recommended that you have one individual per laptop. I would also go ahead and tell you, have a chief Zoom moderator. One of the best things you can do if it's a hybrid contest is you can get role takers from anywhere around the world. So I would recommend having a chief Zoom moderator and a team of Zoom moderators to moderate the meeting, so that you don't have to, so that there is, if one person is pulling multiple levers, then he's bound to hit the wrong lever at a certain point of time. So to reduce that probability, have a team, make sure that your team is briefed, make sure that the team is well informed in advance to lead this meeting. Up next is your audio solution. Well, this is something that will give you the most issue. There is no other way. This is something that will give you the most issues. Why? Because if you have two devices on a Zoom meeting in the same room, you will hear feedback. And that feedback is what is going to cause that high pitch noise. So how do you avoid it? Make sure that the only device that is sharing its audio is the device that is speaker view. We'll get to speaker view, presenter view in the next couple of slides. So make sure that before your contest starts, that there is no feedback, there is no echo, and that if I stand on the stage and speak into a laptop, then make sure that the audio is clear. Make sure that there's no echo or anything, because that is the most common things that you will face. Some of you might have access to external audio speakers if your venue has some. So that is another thing that you will have to prepare in advance for. The ideal or the situation that I'm talking about here is Murphy's Law. So anything and everything that can go wrong will go wrong. So instead of having another separate speaker setup, I would say have some Bluetooth speaker or something that is loud enough so that the in-person audience also have access to the online audio. Up next is the most important thing. How many devices will you need? What exactly are you looking at in terms of organizing a hybrid contest? So one thing, or not one thing, the most important thing is something that is stable, not something, the connectivity device, a connectivity device that is stable in terms of connecting to the internet. Once again, mobile phones also have hotspots, but it is recommended that you have separate hotspots for separate devices so that there is less variables to go wrong with. Up next, one laptop to show what the on-site audience are looking at. For example, if you're sitting as an audience, the online speaker should be able to see you as well. So you will need to stream your image online. So for that, you will need one laptop to stream the audience, on-site audience. You will need one laptop to stream the stage. Like whatever movements are happening on the stage, you will need one laptop to stream that as well, and that is the laptop to which your audio needs to be connected. Okay, and last but not least, the last laptop will be for your timer. The laptop for your timer is what is placed untouched in front of the contestant, so that every time, if the timer is online, then whenever the timer looks at the laptop, he or she will know the time. If you have a speaker, well, very good. You're like, it's a lucky day. You can once again use it to make sure that the entire in-person audience and especially the judges are able to hear the audio clearly. That is the most crucial part. If the judges have any audio or video issues, please rectify them before you start the contest. And finally, if you have the it is recommended that you have a projector. These days, there are projectors that are available for a slightly cheaper rate as well. For example, around 3,000 rupees to 4,000 rupees. You can get a projector online. It might not be a permanent solution, but if you're a club and if you want to invest in some hardware to help you run hybrid meetings, then that is something that we would suggest. Have a projector. Most places will usually have a projector, and even if it's projecting onto a plain wall, that is perfectly fine. But make sure that there is a projector so that the in-person or the on-site audience have a view of the speaker who is speaking online as well, because that is also an aspect that is involved in judging, like your physical movements in your body also has to be judged. So that is something that you'll have to take care of. All in all, at the end of the day, once again, the idea here is if you can moderate a Zoom meeting, you should be able to run a hybrid context. So that was the whole premise of this presentation or this session. So yes, that is it in terms of presentation from my end. I've wantedly kept it a little short so that we can take as many questions as possible. These are my contact details. Feel free to contact me at any time, any day. I will make sure that I get back to you. And that's it from my end. Over to the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Summer, to take the session forward.